Birth to death, she never set foot in a mosque. Because in Bombay, in the neighborhood that she lived in, the street that she lived in, there was absolutely no culture for a woman at any time, place, moment to be in the mosque. And here you are, you drive by the mosque, you're like, whatever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you all mosques. And then you say, okay, the room is small, big, this, that, go. Go, suck it in. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, go be in that environment. And the second thing is to engage in activities that are related to building your iman, building your piety. Do not sell short the things that people do for deen. Do not do this. Do not belittle the efforts that people make on the efforts that you should be making to make improvements in your religion. I have met people that have come from families completely devoid of Islam. And it was through someone's effort. It was through someone's activity. It was through someone's invitation that these people came, and they not only found Islam, they found Allah. They found Allah. And they found what their relationship with their Lord was. So you should be part of something like that. At some level. Some of this should be your responsibility. You cannot just be customers. You cannot just scope out the Facebook, read the direction, who's the speaker, where's the pizza coming from, what's the timeline, what am I doing, right? And then decide on that. You have to become partners in this process. Something about your life has to mean, Ali radiallahu anhu, again, I gave the example, right? By the way, one of the Ashra Mubashirin, right? Who are the Ashra Mubashirin? You all know? The 10 people that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave them the good news. He said, good news, you are in Jannah, right? He was one of those 10 that he was given. Yet the Prophet ﷺ said to him, لَأَنْ يَهْدِيَ بِكَ اللَّهُ, that Allah should choose one person, choose you, to be the source of guidance for one person, is better for you than all of the wealth and all the riches of this world. If that is Ali, and by the way, sometimes I talk at some mosques and they're like, it's like kind of inner city places and they're all like tough guys and they, the pants that are like really low and the bling and stuff like. So they, they come and I talk to them also and I say to them, you think you're really brave, right? You think you're really strong, you're brave, you're a tough guy. Here's tough guy. Here's that guy whose cousin was going to be assassinated, right? On the night of the Hijrah when the Prophet was migrating. What was the plan? One person from each tribe so that the liability spread. Let's meet outside. In the middle of the night we go, or towards the end of the night we go in, and we all kind of do it together. We all... was it something I said? Let there be light. And you think you're tough. Here's what's tough. He's migrating, and he's saying to you, why don't you go sleep in my bed? Under my covers, knowing that there are people that are going to come and try to kill you. If you're brave, that is brave, right? Yet the Prophet ﷺ is saying to him that if you are the source of guidance of one person to this faith, it is better for you than this world and all that is in it. So if you've slept through the rest of this and you sleep through the rest of this, those are the two things. You seek and you keep yourself in an environment of piety. And by the way, sometimes environment, it isn't always Islamic either. You can go to an environment where there are people of values, where there are people of morals, they may not even be of your faith. Yet when you go to them, it helps build your faith. It helps build your faith. When I go to a Catholic church, when I go to an activity where a Catholic church reaches out to people that a lot of people don't want anything to do with, it helps my iman. It helps remind me that I was supposed to do this. Not for college credit, right? Not to put on my resume, my college application. I was supposed to do it because my Lord said to do it. He said for me to do this, to take care of the orphans and the needy. When someone else does it, it helps you. So you have to find yourself in the environment. One more example I'll give you all in that. Taraweeh. How many of you went to Taraweeh prayer? Right? You went in Ramadan, right? And then you're standing there in prayer. Right? And just for the prayer in Ramadan, we have it in the mosque, right? At the end of the prayer, the Imam makes the dua, right? In witr. Raises his hand, and he's making dua. And you see people are crying, aren't they? They're weeping. Well, forget other people weeping. You're weeping. tears are coming down your face and you're making dua. What is amazing about that is not just that you are weeping. It is that many of you who are weeping, you have no idea what he's saying. True or false? True. You have no idea. You know why I offer that to you? I offer that to you as conclusive proof of what I mean. That when you're in an environment of piety, then your own piety, your own iman, your own faith builds up, even if you don't understand what the guy says. Even if you don't. It's just that environment. You have to seek that environment. You have to create that environment. Boy, just walking from my car up to this room, you guys have an entirely different environment, which means you have to struggle even harder, right? To find for yourself. You don't have to isolate yourself and not talk to anybody, not go to any activity. No, no, no. You need to go to everything. But you have to find those pockets within where you live, within how you live, where you study. You have to find that environment so that you can charge your battery. The concept of 5 prayers in a day, on a set time. You know how I explain it? Unfortunately, Muslims don't get it. Non-Muslims that I've talked to over the years, they get it. We don't rely on our faith all the time. We don't take pride in the strength of our faith. We constantly worry and we ask Allah to help us with our faith. And one of the ways we are helped with our faith is that every time, you've seen the Nissan Leaf or the Toyota Prius ad, 5 times a day we're like that Toyota Prius that needs to go and plug our chargers into a wall and get our iman charged up once again. That's why we pray 5 times a day. We never go more than 5 hours or 7 hours without recharging that battery. You need to use that as a model for your life. Now, back to the concept, and I'll wrap up with this. Back to the context of what is if we said this doesn't work, and it honestly doesn't work, okay? And if we said also that Islam celebrates love, and it celebrates, intimacy, and it celebrates those things, then what's the Muslim approach? Number one thing that I want you to remember, which may disappoint some of you, but it's the truth. The number one thing there are 4 things I want you to remember. Number one thing that I want you to remember, in as much as Islam celebrates love and marriage and couplehood and all that's wonderful, it's not the most important things in our life. It's not the most important thing in our life. I want you all to understand that. Because there are many, particularly more women than men, who walk around and they live their life and they think, when I meet him, right, I will be complete. That is one of the biggest lies that society tells you. You are complete as you are, right here, right now. No man is going to complete something that Allah has not already completed in you. And no woman is going to complete something for you that Allah has not already completed for you. What is important for us then, what is center, is that we have an honest and an active relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have an honest, you determine, you decide what the frequency of your communication is going to be. How you talk to Allah, how you ask Him, how you plead with Him, and how you test your faith once in a while. I can give you lists of people who got into colleges when the whole world says you have no business applying to that. And I would say to them, you know what, take your test, take your ACT, fill in your application, put in the form, and then ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do it, see. And people got into Michigan. When people say you have no business getting into Michigan Tech. I know it's a bad word here, okay. But Michigan is a really good school. So I want you to understand that before any man, before any woman, you have to place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. He will decide whether you will have a life of love and peace and compassion and tranquility, or you will not. He is the one. How many of you have seen a Muslim wedding card in America? Raise your hand. A wedding card. How many of you have seen the same ayah on every wedding card? The same verse from the Quran, chapter 30, verse 21 of that. Am I making this up? Am I right? Yep. Same ayah. The pity, the sad story in all of that is, while we print that ayah on that verse from the Quran, on our wedding cards, nobody pays attention to what it actually says. Nobody pays attention. Because if we paid attention, we would understand that first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what He's doing is He's saying, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, right? And from His signs. You know what are His signs in the Quran? The sun and the moon and the stars and the earth and the universe and the galaxy. Those are the things. And the day of judgment. He mentions all of these powerful things and powerful entities and says, these are my signs. And then he says in that verse, and among my signs, is that he creates from within you your spouses or your mates. Right? And then he places in your hearts, he creates from within you your spouses, so that you may dwell therein in tranquility. You think of the marriages you know, you're like, yeah, right, tranquility. Right? You know? Women married for 20 years still saying, I'm waiting for that tranquility, man. Right about now. Huh? Allah says that among His signs is that He creates from within you your mate, and so that you may dwell within them in tranquility. And there is the beauty of the Arabic language that I don't have time to explain to you, how the choice of words are to dwell therein in tranquility. And then He says, and then He created between you mawadda wa rahmah, right? Mawadda and rahmah, which is very interesting, by the way. Do I have time? What kind of time do I have? Okay. And He creates between you mawadda wa rahmah. What does mawadda mean, by the way? Love. Okay, then what is hub? That's love too. Hub is the love that we use in a general sense. That's love. I love him, he loves me. When the movie star in Cairo, in Egypt, says to the woman, I love you, or the woman says to him, that's the word they use, hub. You know, because a lot of, some people who are kind of like literally enemies of Islam and they want to confuse you and they want to kind of do that stuff, they will say to you, look, your Lord has 99 names, right? The just, the powerful, the beginning, the ending, right? The protector, None of His names have anything to do with love. Have you heard that? Let's set that straight today. Hub is love. There's another expression in the Arabic language called wud. Wud. Hub is love that is situational, that is circumstantial, and that is temporary. Wud is that source, that purest form of love that is it is available in all situations, at all times, in all circumstances. And one of the names of your Lord is Al-Wadud, the one that loves you and loves me in all situations, all circumstances, at all times. The source of that love, subhanAllah. And Allah doesn't use the word hub. He uses the word hub in other places in the Quran. So that's not that it's not in the Quranic lexicon. But for that verse, He says, and He places within you mawadda wa rahmah. Mawadda is that thing that, this couple has between them when they're like, when they first get married, you just put them in one corner, they'll just sit by each other on the sofa for like 2 hours. You don't want to be next to anyone else. That's the mawadda. But see, everybody in this world is seeking mawadda, right? Everybody. That's where this question mark came, right? Yes or no? This question mark came, yes or no? Marriage, yes or no? Do I feel that deep, passionate love for this person? And yet our Lord says He placed truth in. Because mawadda, one would say to you, is enough, isn't it? Deep, passionate, pure, unbridled passion, right? It's a topic of some novel or something like that, right? A title, right? Unbridled passion. But no, why does He say warahmah and mercy? The marriage, where Allah is front and center in your marriage, is based on mawadda and rahmah. It's based on that deep-seated, passionate love you have for someone, and it is also seated in mercy. Why? You know why? When your wife is 3 months pregnant and she nudges you and she elbows you and she says, go out and get me ice cream, you don't do that out of deep-seated passion. Right? You don't look at her and go, boy, she's looking hot. You do that out of mercy. When the husband, he's doing something he shouldn't be, he's up on the roof trying to fix the antenna, and he comes, boom, bam, back up down on the ground, right? Maybe like breaks a leg here and fractures an arm there, and then he's sitting in this, he's in bed or he's in a wheelchair for 4 months or 5 months, and his wife serves him beautifully. She's not looking at him and going, wow, your Brad's got nothing on him, right? Brad Pitt's got nothing on him. No, that's the mercy. So when you get married, we make investments. Where the world makes investments in the passionate love side, the flowers and the chocolate and the dressing up and all that, our Lord tells us we make investments in mercy also. And then when our marriage takes a hit, we have something to draw from. We have a credit account. So if it's $10,000, it drops down to $5,000. But if there is a marriage that's constantly floating at zero, the first time it takes a hit, that's the end of the marriage. That's when people come to you and say, we got divorced. Why did you get divorced? We just don't love each other anymore. We just don't love each other anymore. So, put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. The second thing that is important for you all to kind of keep with you and take with you is, what is interaction governed by? Why are these Muslims weird? Why do they not, they don't shake hands, they don't do this, they don't do that, they kind of freak out every time like there's a gathering, why is this? What kind of governs it? Let me simplify it for you all. There are two things. There's one hadith and one ayah in the Quran, okay? The ayah in the Quran is وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا, where Allah says, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this, right? Says, don't eat this, don't gamble, don't do this. So those are very strict commandments. Allah says, don't do this. When He talks about adultery, He says, do not approach adultery. And the scholars have very unanimously said that that means He's not saying do not commit adultery. He said, do not do the things that will take you down the path of adultery. You understand me? So that's one of the governing principles of how a Muslim man or woman should handle themselves. And before you think, well, that's so kind of, 18th century, 19th century, right? Well, yeah, why don't I hug and kiss my best friend from high school, I mean, we're just friends, we've been great, we've been doing this, or whatever. Or we can go travel somewhere together. I was at an Amway meeting. How many of you have heard of Amway? Oh, you're lucky, you've been blessed, you've been spared. Because for a while, it was like a pyramid scheme. Some people made a lot of money, a lot of people lost a lot of money. But they tried to recruit you really. But one of the things was that they were all kind of, to be honest with you, they were mostly Christian families. Okay? They were people with strong family values and so on. And I remember going to one of their things in Lexington in the Hyatt, and the guy was saying, he was like the big shot. He was like Bill Britt or something like that. And he was instructing this mad mob of people that were hanging on to every word he was saying. And he was saying, and by the way, be sure that if someone in your downline means somebody recruited me, I recruit 10 more people, right? And then so that's the pyramid. So he says, if there's a woman in your downline and she asks you to give a ride home after this meeting, don't you dare give her a ride home without your wife being in the car. And if your wife's not in the car, go home, bring her, and then give her a ride home, or get someone else to give her a ride home. Right? This is a guy born and raised in this country. He's not Muslim. His great-grandfather was in this country. But you know what? They understand. For people who are zeroed in on protecting families and protecting relationships, they realize what is the second concept. So I told you there are two, right? The first one was, do not approach. The second one is, the Prophet ﷺ said that when a man and a woman are together, alone, then the third person with them is Shaitan, is Satan. Now again, someone can say to you, and what he means is that then the mischief starts. So what people will say to you, no, this is ridiculous, it's the 21st century, you live in Columbus, Ohio, you go to Ohio State, what are you talking about? Again, I understand there will be circumstances in your life where you will be study partners with someone, where you will do something. But what I want you to do is not tell him to go to hell, right? Not tell the guy, well, I'm going to flunk my class or whatever. You should have this in your mind and say, I'm not going to be alone. And by the way, this doesn't apply to non-Muslim guys or non-Muslim girls. This applies within yourself. You should make the effort to not be alone with someone in private, like where people can't see you. You should make the effort to not do that. Do you understand? Okay. You can argue with me that, it's kind of primitive, blah, blah, blah. I can just tell you that's what the Prophet said. That's what he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Quran gives you one guidance and the Prophet gives you one guidance. So those are the two things. Whether your parents are around or they're not around, whether you're at a Desi gathering or an Arab gathering or an American gathering, you remember these two things, it'll guide you for the rest of your life, inshallah. Number 3, move marriage up front. Try to get married. Try to get married. I'm serious. People, your parents, by the way, you all are just sitting there listening.